Book 3, Telemachus journeys to Pylos. The deep blue sea stretched endlessly before them, its waves rolling gently beneath the golden light of dawn. Telemachus stood at the prow of his ship, the salty breeze ruffling his dark hair. Though he had left Ithaca behind, the weight of his mission pressed upon his shoulders. He was no longer just a boy longing for his father's return. He was a seeker of truth, a traveler upon the wide sea, chasing whispers of Odysseus. Beside him stood Athena, disguised as mentor, her keen eyes fixed on the horizon. "Be strong, Telemachus," she urged, her voice steady like the tide. "The gods favor the bold. Ask fearlessly, and the truth shall reveal itself." The ship cut through the waters, carried swiftly by the winds until at last the distant shore of Pylos emerged from the morning mist. The land of King Nestor lay before them, bathed in the warm glow of the rising sun. On the beach, a grand sacrifice was taking place. Dozens of black bulls, their horns adorned with gold, were being offered to Poseidon, the mighty lord of the seas. The air was thick with the scent of burning fat, the sound of prayers rising like waves crashing upon the shore. As Telemachus and his men disembarked, the people of Pylos turned to watch, their faces alight with curiosity. Who was this young traveler, arriving unannounced? Athena, ever wise, stepped forward and whispered, "Do not hesitate. Approach Nestor with confidence. His heart is noble and his tongue speaks wisdom." So, with resolve hardening in his chest, Telemachus strode forward, weaving his way through the assembled pillions until he stood before the aged king. Nestor, his hair silvered by time, sat upon a grand seat, a golden cup in hand, watching the flames of the sacrifice dance against the sky. His eyes, though worn by years, were still sharp, filled with the wisdom of battles fought and victories won. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of countless stories. "Stranger, you arrive in the midst of our sacred rites. Speak, who are you and what brings you to the land of Pylos?" Telemachus, heart pounding, drew in a breath and answered, "I am Telemachus, son of Odysseus, who fought beside you at Troy. I have come seeking news of my father, for he has not returned, and my homeland suffers under the weight of greedy men who feast upon his absence. If you know of his fate, I beg you, tell me." At the name of Odysseus, a hush fell over the gathering. Nestor's expression darkened, his gaze drifting towards the sea as if searching for an answer upon the waves. "Ah, Odysseus," he murmured at last. "A warrior of unmatched cunning, a man beloved by gods and feared by his enemies. If only I could tell you that he lives, that even now he sails homeward. But I do not know his fate. When the war ended, we warriors parted ways, some blessed by smooth journeys, others cursed by the wrath of the gods. Menelaus and I reached home safely, but Odysseus, the storm winds carried him to an unknown fate." Telemachus clenched his fists, frustration and sorrow mingling in his heart. Another dead end. Another shadow upon his father's path. But Nestor's gaze softened. "Do not lose hope, son of Odysseus. The gods have brought you here for a reason. If you seek more answers, journey to Sparta. There Menelaus, the husband of Helen, may hold the truth you seek. His voyage was long and he has seen much." At these words, Athena, still veiled in the form of mentor, placed a hand on Telemachus' shoulder. "He speaks wisely. The road ahead is long, but you must follow it without fear." And so, though no clear answers had been found, Telemachus felt a flicker of purpose reignite within him. He would go to Sparta. He would chase every whisper, every rumor, until he found the truth. That night, he dined in Nestor's great hall, where the old king spoke of battles past, of heroes and gods, of the glories and tragedies of Troy. And as the stars glittered over Pylos, Telemachus, for the first time, felt like he had stepped beyond the shadow of his father. The journey had only begun. If you enjoyed this story, support the channel by liking and subscribing. Let's keep exploring the legends of the past together.